Hey, badass business owners. Today, you need to be honest. I need to rant about something. I tossed around a bunch of different topics that I wanted to go over today, and there was just one that just kept bubbling to the top, and I just need to talk about it for a minute. And I really, really need some of you to hear me on this because it is so important in your business, and it's so frustrating on my end, and I'm going to tell you why it's frustrating. I care about you guys so dang much. You work your butt off and you're spending all of these hours in your business. You're out there hustling, you're making customers happy, you're doing an amazing job with what you have built. But here's the problem. You are not looking at your business numbers and you just keep going with your head buried in the sand thinking that you're making all of this money and you're not. Or even worse, you know you're not making money. You can sense it. You can feel it. Your bank account is empty, and yet you still don't learn your business numbers. Folks, it is so important that you understand that it's not going to change if you do not look at your business numbers. And even worse, you're going to wake up one day with a terrible decision to make, which is, can I even keep my business open? Because you can only bleed for so long. You can only drain your personal finances for so long before you start putting at risk everything that you've built through your entire life. Listen, some people have built savings accounts, retirement accounts, and everything else before they made the leap over to small business owner. And what will happen is they'll have their heads so far in the sand when it comes to their business and how it's doing that they will slowly drain the savings and then dive into their 401k, take out loans to keep the business going. And next thing you know, they wake up and they never changed anything because they never fundamentally changed what was wrong with the business in the first place. Listen, I get it. I myself for 5 years ran a business where I did not make any money. The only smart thing that I did during that entire time was the fact that I bought the business for cash, so I didn't have any debt in the business. But guess what? I worked for those 5 years for nothing. And guess who lived off of all the money they had saved up and everything else? Yes, me, the dum-dum here. And the reason is I kept thinking things were going to change. It didn't matter. When I really sat back and I looked at it, it didn't matter if the business was going to be able to make some money. It was never going to make the kind of money that I needed it to. That's a different situation where the business is just not going to make the kind of money. The point is, you need to know what those business numbers are. Even when I bought my business, I knew the business number. It was bleeding money and I got it to break even. So mine was the opposite. I knew my business numbers, so I knew better because I was really good at that piece. But a lot of the people that I'm talking to today and we're diving into their business numbers is they don't know. They don't have the first clue. And here's your first test. If I was to ask you, let's see, it doesn't matter when you listen to this. Do you know what your sales are month to date? Do you know what your sales were last month? Do you know what your sales were for the month coming up last year? Now, if you've already got the deer in the headlight look, then you don't really understand your business numbers. You get a bonus point though, if you could go look it up and have it at your fingertips in a matter of minutes. But if you don't know the basics of what your sales were, then you've already got the first part of your problem. Not the guess, not pulling a number out of thin air. That's not what I'm talking about. But remember, sales do not mean anything. It's about how much money you keep. So for example, if I'm looking at a business, I was looking at a business yesterday. I'm not going to throw them under the bus, but here's the thing. I'm looking at a business the other day. They've done $180,000 year to date, but they've lost almost $30,000. Now they're robbing somewhere to pay these bills. And guess who they're robbing? Yes, they're robbing themselves first. First and foremost, they're robbing themselves to be able to keep this going. It's important that you understand they're not alone. There was another business that I was looking at early in the week. Very similar situation. They have done $99,000. Awesome for their particular business, but they're already in the hole $2,000. That's year to date. It just means that they're going to continue to have that problem. And I have another business that I was looking at earlier to where their business has been sliding for the last 4 months and they never caught it because they haven't looked at their monthly breakdown. They just know that when they are looking at their business numbers, something feels off, something doesn't feel right. And I'm like, yeah, your business account is going down because all the money you made last year, you've been slowly giving it back because something's broken in your business today. And because you haven't been looking at your business numbers, it is a slow bleed. And the odds are this business owner, if they didn't stop and look, were going to completely bleed out all of the money that they saved from last year. And by the end of this year, they were going to be broke. There was going to be no money left in that account. Folks, I get it. I understand that sometimes we're so busy, we don't have the time. I get it. I understand sometimes we're afraid of what we're going to see. I get it. I understand that sometimes we hate math and it's so confusing. We don't want to do it. I get it. But just because I get it doesn't fix it. It doesn't solve your problem. If you have a problem and you have a hang up to where you are not looking at your business numbers, I'm begging you, I'm on my hands and knees begging you, please start looking at your business numbers. Please start understanding what sales you've got coming in. Please understand what your cost of goods are. Please make sure you understand your expenses. Please understand there's a difference between your two types of labor. Please understand that just because you're paying yourself in the business doesn't mean you're making money. It means you're paying yourself an employee. Okay, it doesn't mean your business is making any money. And pretty soon when the business isn't making money, the first person that gets cut is the business owner making money in their business as an employee because somebody has to pay it. It's going to be your checks that you're not cashing in order for you to keep that business afloat. You are building a business. Yes, you're an employee in the business. Yes, you need to make sure that you get paid, whether you pay yourself as an employee or you pay yourself as an owner in the business. At the end of the day, if the business can't sustain itself, the person who's going to make up that difference is going to be you. And it's going to be first the money that you're making every month in the business. And then pretty soon, in order for you to survive personally, you still have your bills to pay. And that's either going to come out of the business or it's going to start coming out of your savings account, your personal retirement accounts, or whatever the case may be. I know I'm ranting right now, but I'm doing it as a wake-up call because I care about you guys and I want you to make money. The first step is rip the Band-Aid off. Know how bad it really is. You know, there's times I sit down with people and I have to give them horrible news about how bad it is. But that's the beginning of the change. Because if you know that you've got this problem, then you can fix your pricing if needed. You can trim the fat if needed. You can change the way you're doing business. You can look at different ways of getting the things that you need. You can quit spending money where you don't need to be spending money. Whatever your particular situation is, you can start going the other direction. But you got to hit bottom first. You got to know how bad it is before you can move forward. And if maybe it's not super bad for your business today, maybe you are on that slow bleed and you don't even know it. Well, dive into your business. Find out if you did. Some of you might be pleasantly surprised that you're making way more money than you ever thought, but you might discover that you're also losing more money than you thought. For some of you, it's going to be some slight changes and you're going to be able to make some good money. And for some of you, you're going to have to make some tough calls in your business. You may have to let some people go. You may have pulled yourself so far out of the business that you've been giving all of your money to these people that you hired, but because the business was never profitable, you're not making any money. That happens all the time, by the way. This is one of the reasons why you want to account for your employee time and making sure you take money as an employee in the business, because the minute you start replacing yourself in the business, that money goes to the person you hired. And that's less money that you get. And if that business was never profitable in the first place, guess what? Your money starts going down. And people wake up one day realizing, wow, I keep taking all this money and I'm losing money. Well, yeah, because you were never making money in the first place to pay you. Then you gave your other money that you could pay to someone else. And now you're taking money away from the company to pay yourself. And now you've got nothing. Here's the amazing thing. What's interesting is every business is different, yet every business is the same. Every business has the same sales minus cost of goods minus expenses equals profits. That's the same across the board. Now, how you spend that money is going to vary. Some of you are going to have high cost of goods. Some of you are going to have low cost of goods. Some of you are going to have really high expenses. And some of you are going to have no expenses at all. Everybody's business is different, but yet everybody follows the same formula. When you make a sale, it's still going to go towards your cost of goods and your expenses before your profits. Everybody's different, yet everybody's the same. How you pay yourself in the business can be done differently. Some of you absolutely make sure that you're paid as an employee for the employee time that you do, and others just claim it as a owner's draw. But at the end of the day, you're still doing business as an employee at time and sometimes as a business owner. And at the end of the day, if you do not account for that employee time as you replace yourself in the business, it's going to burn you by the end. You must have sales that can pay for your costs and can pay for your expenses before your business is ever going to be profitable. That doesn't change for anybody. So I don't care what that big top line is. I don't care if it's 5 figures, 6 figures, or $1 million. If it doesn't work its way to the bottom, to where you can pay yourself a great wage for being an employee in the business, and you can make a great living off of being the business owner, there's a disconnect somewhere. And our goal is, how do we find that disconnect? People, I want to be fired up for you. I want to help you make money in your business. I don't want you to wake up one day to find out that all of a sudden you've got a massive problem and you're going to lose your business. For some people, they lose their business, they lose their house, they lose everything that they've worked for. Okay, if you have to go bankrupt and the business owns your vehicles, well, there's a chance you might lose those too. Folks, I don't want you to wake up like that one day. I don't want you to wake up that you've created such a mess for yourself that you can't get yourself out of it. So please, please, please learn your business numbers. I'm here to help you. Okay? We'll continue to talk about them here on the podcast. If you don't already subscribe to the YouTube channel, Badass Business, I think it's Badass Small Business Owners, but Badass Business Owners, put a link in the bottom, then please do. I walk you through, teach you how to do it. There's a course if you don't even want to go search for all that crap. It's a cheap course in the thing that will teach you your business numbers. I'm going to redo it and update it later this year. You get that for free once you own the course. I'm not here to try to sell you the course. I'm just trying to give you the information. You go get it all for free. Go search it all out or get the course. I don't care. But my main thing is I need you to understand your business numbers. I don't want you to continue to bleed money into where you just aren't making any. All right, I need to end this rant because I'm going to go on, and you can tell that I get frustrated with it, and it's only frustration because I care. I love you guys. I want you to make so much money. I want you to be healthy and profitable, and I want you to have a comfortable living, and I want you to have an amazing future. But I need you to understand, running the business is only one piece of it. You have to know and understand your business numbers. Okay? With that, I'm going to stop ranting. I will talk to you next week on the next episode. Do me a favor. Go learn something about your business numbers. Surprise me. Surprise yourself. All right. With that, I'm out of here. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye for now.